Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we delve into the fascinating realm of the mind-body connection with Suggestible You by the acclaimed science writer Erik Vance. Diving into the depths of how our expectations and beliefs mold our physiological responses to pain, illness, and memory. Vance unravels the complex interactions between brain and body that underscore the potency of human suggestibility. Steeped in rigorous research and enlivened by Vance's personal journey as a biologist turned journalist, Suggestible You presents an enlightening exploration of the placebo effect, hypnosis, and other aspects of suggestibility that significantly influence our well-being. As we uncover how these mind-over-matter phenomena are already being employed to enhance the effectiveness of treatments and improve lives in medicine, we are invited to reconsider the limits of human healing and resilience. Ideal for those intrigued by the mysteries of the human mind, skeptics of miraculous cures seeking scientific explanations, and anyone curious about our innate ability to heal, Suggestible You is a testament to Vance's experiences and expertise. His writings have graced the pages of prestigious publications like Harper's Magazine, The New York Times, Scientific American, and National Geographic, and he serves as a contributing editor at Discover Magazine. Join us in this episode as we condense the essence of Suggestible You into a bite-sized overview that promises to enlighten just as much as it educates. Suggestible You: The Curious Science of Your Brain's Ability to Deceive, Transform, and Heal. Introduction. Discover the mind's ability to self-deceive through expectation. The human mind is an enigma, possessing the uncanny ability to deceive itself, a phenomenon profoundly influenced by our expectations. Picture your brain like a director, constantly setting the stage for what it anticipates to happen next. But what if the play doesn't go according to script? Rather than face the disappointment, your mind has a penchant for reshaping the narrative to fit its preconceived notions. Unlock your brain's potential with the power of suggestion. Enter the potent force of suggestion, the master key that unlocks your brain's latent potential. It works by aligning with your expectations, convincing you they're within reach, and can even spur your body into remarkable action to fulfill those beliefs. Through the art of suggestion, you're about to embark on an insightful journey where you'll see how your perception of pain, your pathway to healing, and even the very construction of your memories are all subject to the whims of expectation and suggestion. The enlightening and sometimes precarious impact of expectation. The wonders of the placebo effect will unfold before you, revealing how simple sugar pills can miraculously alleviate agony. You'll explore how narratives have the power to twist your gut into knots, and hold your breath as you uncover how even a faux rose's scent could potentially disrupt your well-being. By the end of this expedition into the depths of your suggestible psyche, you'll be armed with the knowledge to harness these forces for your betterment, or at least to recognize when they're at play. Prepare to be astounded by the placebo effect's prowess as a painkiller, intrigued by the digestive drama wrought by tales, and cautious about the potential perils of counterfeit flora. Welcome to the theater of your mind, where the power of suggestion reigns supreme. Part 1. The Astonishing Strength of the Placebo Effect. Imagine you're clutching a painkiller in the grip of a headache, and within moments of downing the pill, a wave of relief washes over you. But here's a little-known fact. Most painkillers take a quarter of an hour to even start working. So what just happened? You've unwittingly become a star performer in the theater of the placebo effect. The key insight here is, the remarkable efficacy of placebos lies in their ability to harness the mind's power of suggestion. The concept of a placebo usually conjures images of innocuous sugar pills that, through some medical sleight of hand, bring about genuine improvements in a patient's condition. It's like the enigma of homeopathic treatments, where the central premise is that the sheer essence of a remedy, once diluted beyond the presence of its original substance, will still convey healing properties through water. Most medical experts label this a placebo, evidencing that despite the absence of tangible active ingredients, people can still reap tangible benefits. Consider the tale of a woman so engulfed in depression, no conventional therapy or medication could pierce the fog. In desperation, she turned to homeopathy, leading to a revelatory consultation. The homeopath's expansive conversation unearthed a deep-seated sadness, tracing back to a frigid escape from the Nazis. The prescribed cure was as poetic as it was simple, a regular dosage of melted snow. Astonishingly, her health improved dramatically. But what truly transpired here? At its core, the remedy wasn't about the contents of the vial. It was about storytelling and its profound impact on our self-perception and worldview. In constructing a poignant narrative with the homeopath, the woman could interpret her affliction in a way that deeply resonated with her. The narrative provided a framework for understanding and ultimately letting go of the fear paralyzing her. The melted snow became a mere accessory to the true healing power at play. The formidable might of suggestion. In the hands of suggestion, even the simplest of placebos can take center stage, orchestrating remarkable turnarounds in our health and well-being, all by invoking the immersive drama of the mind's own narratives. Part 2. Unleashing your body's built-in pharmacy to boost the placebo effect. Pain, often as unwelcome as it is vital, is the body's alarm system, a telltale siren highlighting that something within is amiss and demanding attention. Yet for nearly 30% of Americans, pain lingers long past its initial cause, morphing into the chronic background noise of their lives. Here's a curious fact. The enigmatic forces of placebo are especially potent when it comes to chronic pain. It's a double-edged sword since while certain untested remedies can alleviate discomfort, it's tricky proving a legitimate treatment works beyond the placebo effect. Why is pain such fertile ground for placebos, you ask? The key to understanding this is realizing that your body houses its very own chemical warfare against pain, and placebos are the signal flares that prompt their release. Take opioids, for example. Not the controversial pills, but naturally occurring ones. Your brain is adept at crafting its own class of these potent painkillers, namely endorphins. Recognized for their analgesic properties, they mingle in various crucial functions like hunger regulation and pleasure response. When a placebo is in play, it triggers the brain's opioid-producing zones, ushering in a welcome tide of endorphins that can silence pain's relentless cry. And yet, the narrative doesn't end with endorphins. Your body's internal pharmacy stocks an arsenal of other placebo-boosting agents. Among them are endocannabinoids, chemical cousins to the active ingredients of cannabis, acting as guardians against agony. Then there's serotonin, the herald of happiness, alongside dopamine, the master of reward and motivation. Each of these chemicals shares a thread of connection with conditions remarkably receptive to the placebo effect: pain, depression, anxiety, nausea, and addictive cravings. And within this revelation lies hope. Our bodies, it turns out, are already fortified with the weaponry to weather and transcend these afflictions. Part 3. The elusive nature of placebo effectiveness. Consider the remarkable tale from 2011, where a patient with Parkinson's disease, a debilitating condition without a cure, experienced a miraculous recovery. Symptoms vanished, speech clarity returned, and he even resumed work. But it turned out he had been part of the placebo group. His body had miraculously healed itself without any medical intervention. This leads us to an enthralling mystery. Scientists are still deciphering why placebos are a panacea for some, but ineffective for others. Research into the brain's intricate workings reveals a curious pattern. A person's response to placebos is as fickle as the weather, sometimes responding to one placebo but not to another, or responding today but not tomorrow. It's as if the wonder of the placebo effect dances on the edges of scientific understanding. Small victories have been won in this field, though. Genetic markers linked to a higher propensity for placebo response, have emerged from the depths of genomic studies. These markers are involved in controlling the brain's hormone production, such as dopamine. While the journey to comprehensive understanding is ongoing, we're no longer entirely in the dark. Delving into someone's genetic blueprint could revolutionize clinical trials, filtering out probable placebo responders and forging a path toward highly individualized treatment strategies. And for those whose genes predispose them to the placebo effect, luck is on their side. They not only benefit from active medical treatments, but can also find healing in inactive ones. Their brains are tuned to respond to everything, the ingredients that fight ailments and the suggestion that they might. This opens up a world where even the mere act of treatment can be the cure, a world as boundless as it is beguiling. Part 4. The Power of Suggestion, a Blessing and a Curse. Step back in time to 1886, where you'd find a woman, plagued by hay fever and asthma, stepping into a physician's practice. Her doctor had a hunch. Perhaps her intense reactions were not purely physiological, but intertwined with her nervous disposition, a trait echoing through her family lineage. To test his hypothesis, he positioned a faux rose in his room. Upon her arrival, she immediately succumbed to a violent allergic episode and an asthma assault. The twist? That rose was nothing but an artificial bloom. This historical anecdote highlights an intriguing aspect of the human psyche: the ability to harm ourselves with the very same force that can bring about healing. This leads to a compelling insight. The very suggestibility that lends strength to the placebo effect, casting spells of betterment, also casts shadows in the form of its sinister counterpart, the nocebo. In contrast to the placating placebo, the nocebo is a harbinger of discomfort and disease. It capitalizes on a universal truth. Fear holds a vice-like grip over our minds, tighter than optimism ever could. Consider the news headlines that clamor for your attention. It's often the disconcerting stories that provoke the strongest reaction. That's because the nocebo phenomenon feeds on our worries and anxieties. During the fever pitch of the 2014 Ebola outbreak, the nocebo effect made its presence felt in the United States. Despite only 4 confirmed cases, all with direct links to the epidemic's epicenter, thousands were convinced they exhibited symptoms and sought medical advice, a classic mass nocebo response. Yet, the impact of nocebos extends beyond overgrown anxieties to inflict tangible maladies. Enter the debate surrounding wind turbine syndrome, purportedly an array of ailments triggered by the inaudible hum from these energy giants. In 2012, researchers unearthed a startling connection. Individuals prepped with favorable information about ultrasonic noise felt improvements in health conditions after exposure, regardless of what they actually heard. Conversely, those fed detrimental information suffered symptoms, once again independent of their auditory experience. The takeaway here isn't the dismissal of the symptoms, but a realization. The root of these afflictions lies not in the turbines, but within the intricate folds of our suggestible minds. Part 5. Unveiling the mysteries of hypnosis and its potent influence on the suggestible mind. Dissociate yourself from the silver screen depictions of sinister hypnotists wielding pocket watches to command one's every move. Reality paints a different picture of hypnosis, one that acknowledges its genuine, albeit not omnipotent, effects. Hypnosis stands as a testament to the power of suggestibility. Although shrouded in misconceptions, the act of hypnosis isn't about puppeteering individuals against their will. Rather, it's a spectrum of susceptibility. About 10% of the population are highly responsive to hypnosis, delving into profound trance states, while another 10% remain impervious. Most people, however, fall somewhere between these two extremes. The experience of hypnosis isn't uniform. It ranges from a sharpened focus akin to being engrossed in a novel, to an otherworldly state where reality and imagination blur, a state so profound that it's unlike anything encountered in ordinary life. Under hypnosis, individuals can experience vivid hallucinations, lose their capacity to speak, or even undergo surgical incisions without the torment of pain. In particular, hypnosis has showcased remarkable success in managing pain. Consider the work of David Patterson at the University of Washington, who has aided patients with severe burn wounds and even a man with an axe lodged in his neck find respite from their agony through hypnotic trance. These awe-striking outcomes are not commonplace, as hypnosis is an intricate dance of artistry and science. Every hypnotist weaves a unique spell, employing their voice, cadence, and personalized imagery, all tailored to the individual's moment-to-moment responses, a symphony of personalized cues that challenge the standardization required for scientific scrutiny. Yet, progress has been made. Patterson's team has discovered ties between the tempo of brainwaves and the effectiveness of hypnosis. Slower natural brainwave activity seems to herald greater relief from hypnosis, offering a clue as to why the brain in pain, with its hastened waves, might find solace under hypnosis's wing. It's these intricate wonders that illustrate the complex and powerful role of suggestion in shaping human experience. Part 6. The malleability of memory under the power of suggestion. Visual illusions, like the classic mirage of a straight stick warping in water or the enigmatic vanishing of a blind spot, show us that sight can be deceptive. But what about our memories? Are they reliable repositories or intricate tapestries susceptible to suggestion? The truth behind our recollections is striking. The phenomenon of false memories highlights our vulnerability to suggestion. Contrary to the digital analogy of data storage, memory is far from a simple archival process. It is a dynamic act of creation, infused with imagination. Let's break down this mental marvel into 3 stages. First up, encoding, akin to capturing a scene with a mental camera, logging every sensory detail, the aromatic coffee, the cacophony of traffic, the blaze of sunlight. These snapshots nestle into your short-term memory, poised for potential longer-term storage. Enter stage 2, consolidation. Here, the brain becomes an enigmatic librarian, sifting through the day's catalog of events. Significance dictates survival in long-term memory. Your memory of your mundane laundry routine is likely to fade, whereas the memory of a fiery blaze will be meticulously shelved. The final act is retrieval. Far from being a mere retrieval of data, recalling a memory is akin to resurrecting a performance, with each reenactment fraying the edges of the original experience. A false memory? It's usually an error somewhere along this sequence, and they're not as rare as one may think. Consider the aftermath of the Challenger space shuttle disaster in 1986. Ulrich Neisser's experiment with student recollections revealed a striking evolution in memory over a span of 3 years. Scenes shifted, settings changed, and some staunchly disbelieved their own initial accounts, despite the evidence. Dramatic embellishments crept in, transforming the narrative into something far more cinematic. This malleability of memory exemplifies how suggestion can construct and reconstruct our past, sometimes turning it into a story only tenuously connected to the events as they occurred. Part 7. How the power of suggestion shapes your everyday decisions. When faced with selecting the perfect vino to accompany your meal, many of us rely on visual cues, perhaps the allure of an elegant label or a price tag that fits snugly within our budget. Surely, that bottle must hold a superior taste, right? This insight unveils a subtle truth. Our suggestibility quietly orchestrates the choices we make in daily life. Brands masterfully wield suggestion as their wand, enchanting you to not only perceive but genuinely experience their products as tastier, and yes, that includes the wine in your glass. Clever packaging isn't simply eye candy. It crafts an anticipatory narrative for your taste buds that your mind eagerly fulfills. But suggestion's reach extends beyond the grapes of the vine. Cast your mind back to 2010, when researchers presented study participants with 2 different milkshakes, one dressed as a dieter's dream, the other as a lavish calorie festival. What the subjects didn't know was that both drinks had identical calorie counts. The experiment measured levels of ghrelin, a hunger-spurring hormone secreted in the stomach. Remarkably, those who believed they were consuming the modest milkshake experienced heightened ghrelin levels. Their brains, fueled by expectation, became culinary illusionists, convincing their stomachs they hadn't indulged enough. Moving from the dining table to addiction, a plight 1 in 10 Americans grapple with, primarily with alcohol, we find that suggestibility's role endures. Once pegged to a lack of willpower, addiction is now recognized as a physiological quandary deeply intertwined with expectation. Those caught in the snare of addiction are trapped in a grim carousel. The drug entices with pleasure, while the brain, buckling under the high, dials back dopamine production in pursuit of equilibrium. As dopamine, a herald of joy, dwindles, the need for the substance intensifies in a desperate chase for that fleeting euphoria. Part 8. Leveraging the transformative potential of expectation for personal betterment. Throughout the ages, the mystical threads of expectation have been woven into the fabric of humanity, from the time-honored rituals of shamans to the revered practices of faith healers. Amidst the controversial claims, the intrinsic power of expectation harbors the potential to enhance your life significantly. The crucial insight here is that your life can be enriched by tapping into the power of expectation. Understanding that the essence of this power is steeped in the art of storytelling is vital. To unlock the influence of your own expectations, embark on a journey of self-discovery. Inquire within. What narratives captivate you? When do you feel most inspired? Is it in quiet solitude or the bustle of community? Do you find solace in the wisdom of the ancients, or seek the empirical assurance of modern science? Recognizing the stories that resonate with you will steer you toward practices that align with your imagination. A skilled hypnotist, for example, might delve into your ancestral tales, not merely for therapeutic necessity, but to unearth the stories that echo deeply within you. Become an explorer of your susceptibility. If a fizzy beverage seems to be your panacea, perhaps you're more attuned to the placebo effect than you imagined. Delve into the nuances of the ailment you wish to alleviate. Experiment with modalities like hypnosis to gauge your suggestibility. As you navigate these transformative waters, heed these critical guidelines for a safe passage. Firstly, never jeopardize your health. Caution is paramount when facing a plethora of purported remedies, some notoriously toxic, such as mercury. Herbal supplements, while alluring, float in a sea of regulatory laxity. You cannot always trust the label, as a Canadian study alarmingly revealed, citing a staggering 60% mislabeling rate. Additionally, if a medical condition plagues you, do not forsake the tested shores of traditional medicine. While alternatives may offer solace, casting aside clinically validated treatments could chart a path to harm. Lastly, protect your financial well-being. Do not pursue expensive placebos with fervor, for the purveyors demanding extravagant sums for questionable therapies are likely seeking profit, not your recovery. Steering clear of these financial pitfalls ensures you avoid exhausting your resources before potentially realizing that conventional medicine holds the key to your affliction. By weaving these considerations into the tapestry of your life, you can responsibly harness the power of expectation, enriching your existence without sacrificing your health or prosperity. Final summary. The intricate workings of our mind are primed to be shaped by expectation, a potent psychological phenomenon that shapes our reality and well-being. Expectation is the undercurrent that gives rise to the placebo effect, drawing on suggestion to evoke healing or, conversely, manifesting discomfort through its counterpart, the nocebo. This extraordinary capacity confers upon the brain the remarkable ability to influence physical sensations and reactions, reconstruct memories, and dictate responses to our environment and unfolding events. With astute awareness and caution, this innate potential becomes a gateway to a myriad of alternative approaches to health and personal growth. Navigating this domain requires understanding the delicate balance of suggestion's power and safeguarding against its potential missteps. Yet, when harnessed with intent and prudence, the suggestible nature of our minds is a profound resource that can unlock paths to improved wellness and enriched life experiences. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.